Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as we get into the preview. It's D-Day time, it's not D-Day, but you know what I mean. It's an important game and it's not just a must win, it's a must win. You know, I say must wins because we have to put points on the board. The last 3 games we've not done that. So the more that happens, the more must it becomes. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave it to this point. If it were up to me, we wouldn't have got to this point anyway. You know what I mean? You slip up once, you slip up twice, you don't slip up 3 times. And that's where it starts to get serious. This is why now I'm saying we can't have a 4th. If we have a 4th, you know the conversations that are going to start being had. You just know. Not from me specifically, but everyone. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, is it happening? Like, it's the pressure. It's pressure. And we do need to have a team that can deal with pressure, but this is where you show it. You don't let yourself get into trouble. You prevent it from happening at the beginning. That's how you avoid problems, you know? So I genuinely hope tomorrow is 3 points. It's a win, and we get ourselves back on track because it's starting to feel a little sticky. Chelsea at the moment sitting in 4th, which is fine, considering what our overall aim for the season was. I stress for this season, right? Because I have to say this is important. People need to not get comfortable with just getting Champions League football because of how far we fell last year. The season before, it's important to be realistic of where the team is, where the club is. But it doesn't mean, oh yeah, if we're just getting Champions League, it's fine. For this season, yeah. For next season, no. I don't want to see Chelsea become, I'm sure I can see something flying in the air, by the way. This is just me. I don't know if it's the lights. But I don't want us to be that team. If you remember what Arsenal used to be like under Wenger, you know, get 4th, yeah. Next season, yeah, get 4th, and that's it. It was just stuck there. No. We do have more ambition. We do want to win the Premier League title again. We want to get back to that conversation properly. We want to be in that mix every season as title contenders. You're not going to win it every season, of course. That's unrealistic. But to be up there and then at least winning it here and there. That's a minimum. That should be where we are. But we got to be realistic. We need to get ourselves back to that level. So for this season, top 4 absolutely is fine. To set us up for next season. That way we can stay where we belong, where we have to be. So we're 4th at the moment. Newcastle 3 points behind us. Man City, who've got what? 2 wins in 12 or something like that now? I forgot their stat, but it's tragic, right? 4 points behind us. We cannot slip up again. If we slip up again, look, right now between us and 9th, it's 6 points. We have to look forward. We're 4 points away from Arsenal. We can't let that get larger. We're 2 points away from Nottingham Forest. What's going on? Do you know what I mean? So we have to be looking up. We have to be looking up. And it starts with a win against Crystal Palace. And if we don't, not only might we fall out of the top 4, which I even think even if we lose, that's probably not going to happen because Newcastle need to win by more than 3 goals. Or if we lose and they would just need to win their game, they would catch us and make it even. But we would at that point be in danger of falling out completely, which only a few games ago looked very, very assured. So things can change pretty quick. Crystal Palace, right now sitting in 15th. Won their last game, actually. They've not been in tragic form overall. Actually, in their last 6, they've only lost 1. They've won 3. They've actually been all right, but they're still in 15th because they had that really, really bad patch. And now they've kind of got a little bit of stability. It won't be easy. Palace are one of those grounds where, I'll tell you now, you lose 2-1. You know? It's not even like Ipswich where we lost 2-0. Palace, Selhurst, is always that 2-1 ground. You know, where you concede, you get back into the game, you concede again, you lose. Crystal Palace are that team. We cannot lose tomorrow. We can't. Simple as that. So, Crystal Palace 15th. And their manager said something that I want to bring to you guys. Yeah, because this is either going to look absolutely fantastic tomorrow, or it's going to look absolutely dreadful. Here's what Oliver Glasner had to say. In preparation for tomorrow, he said, I don't think, referencing to Chelsea, they can surprise us. I don't think they are flexible. They go from a 3-2-5 to a 3-1-6 sometimes. They also go to a 4-1-5 so Cucurella can play in the pocket, or sometimes go wide to create a 2v1 on the wing. Gusto also does this with Neto and Madueke. I don't think they can surprise us or want to surprise us. I'm just, at this point, I'm just saying. That's either going to look absolutely incredible or it's going to look really foolish by the end of tomorrow. And I hope it's the latter. It would be tragic if he says this and then it happens exactly like this and we lose. Oh my God. No, I'm not accepting that. Not accepting that. We must win tomorrow. We must. And we do have what it takes to win. We should go there and win. We should. Now, when it comes to injuries, well, today has been an absolute calamity if we're talking about injuries, because we now have news from Enzo Maresca on Wesley Fofana, on Badiashile. Badiashile is going to be out for a very long time. Now, some wouldn't be too upset with that. He's not exactly a first-team starter. But Wesley Fofana, looking like he's going to be out for the rest of the season. A very bad hamstring injury, apparently. Out for the season. He's done. Wesley Fofana, as of today, has surpassed Reece James. Has surpassed him. He's worse than Reece James. Because at least with Reece James, this is something that is at least somewhat recent. And I say recent, at least the last 2 years, right? It's become an issue. It's become an issue. If we're being completely honest, Fofana had these problems when he was at Leicester, and we still bought him. And this wasn't just myself. A lot of people, and a lot of you said it too. When he was bought, what did we say? I hope injuries don't become a thing. Well, guess what? They've become more than a thing. His body will not allow him to reach the top level. It's as simple as that. Do you actually think it's realistic and normal over 3 seasons to have only been available for, I think it's 34 games? That's tragic. When you go and look at his injury history, it's tragic. It's tragic, right? He's missing 20, 30 games a year, mate. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You cannot do that. He's done. As far as I'm concerned, I think we can cross Fofana off as a very bad investment. Not in terms of the player and his ability. No, his body has broken down. Beyond belief. Beyond belief. Funnily enough, like Pep would say and like Matisse would say, more than you can believe. More than you can believe. He is absolutely not just hit a brick wall. He's hit a concrete wall with a steel wall and an iron wall behind it. It's just he's done. He's done. So, Fofana's out for a long time, which explains why we have accelerated the whole centre-back search. That explains it, and why Anselmino has been brought back to Chelsea. And he, like I mentioned yesterday, he's been told that, yeah, he's not going on loan. He's going to remain with the squad. It makes sense. It makes sense. What I don't get, if we're talking about centre-backs, and we have to be honest here, unless Chelsea knows something I don't, right? If Chelsea are actually going to go into the window and buy a centre-back from somewhere, then that's one thing. Fair enough. Who's that going to be? I genuinely don't know, but fair enough. If we're not, why don't we just recall Chalobah? What's the problem there? Because let's be honest, would you rather Disasi or Chalobah? For me, it's not even a conversation. It's not even a conversation. Chalobah's not perfect, but at least we get something. We get something. We know what we have there. He's not rubbish. He's not brilliant, but for what we have, if we're not going to buy anyone, if we're not going to do any business, because January isn't really the window to do the sort of big business that was done in the past, then just recall Chalobah. What's the problem? You know? I would rather him than rely on what we've got right now. So, that's that. But In terms of tomorrow and in terms of Crystal Palace, if we're going to team news, that's the only team news that there is in terms of Chelsea. I'll get to Lavia in a sec. But Crystal Palace, they have Mark Gurhey that has returned from a suspension, so he's going to be playing against us. Good to see him. Chalobah won't play because he can't. He's on loan, so he can't play against us. And Will Hughes has been ruled out. Apart from that, everyone's available. So Palace will have pretty much a full-strength team. Chelsea, everyone's back in line, except for the guys that I've mentioned. And Lavia is back in training. He could be included tomorrow. Definitely won't start. Could be on the bench. Maresca did say Reece James is going to get minutes. So I'm curious here. I wouldn't want him to start. I know he's done it before. Maresca's done it before. Reece James has come back and we've started him. No need to start him. And I'll explain the starting 11 because we've got to address the problem that we have in terms of switching players up, poor form in a lot of players, that sort of thing. What do we do? What do we do? Because everyone's got their own opinion, everyone's got their own consensus, everyone's got their own method on what they would do. Some would change a bit, some would change a lot, some would change nothing, some would change everything. We'll get into that. But Lavia is key. I hope he's back tomorrow because if it comes to it and we've got to lock the game down, you can bring Lavia on maybe half an hour at the end of the second half. You know, that would be good. That would be an option I would like to have. So fingers crossed he's going to be available and on the bench. But apart from that, there's nothing else to say except let's get into the starting 11. So here's mine. Right. I've gone back to type. Right? Simple as that. I've gone back to type. I've looked in terms of what could we change, what do we not change, and all of this. I think this is pretty straightforward. The positions, I'll explain. Sanchez in goal. We'll just stick with Sanchez. Yeah. No clangers from him would be good. His worldies, his saves are great, but no clangers on the ball, and that's all I'm asking for. Centre-backs. The best pairing we have available right now, as far as I'm concerned, is Levi Colwill and Tosin. And again, I stress, I would rather Tosin than Disasi. For me, it's a no-brainer at this point. And Tosin hasn't been good. Let's just call a buck here. He's not been disastrous, but he's not been good enough. And to be honest, Cole's not been good enough. But we've got to pick two centre-backs. So for me, those are the best ones that we can go with as of right now. I would go with these two. And hopefully they can just keep cool, no crazy antics, and just try and stay solid. Cucurella and Gusto, I think is what we should be going for to start the game. Cucurella inverting, adding as an additional man in midfield, no problem. As Oliver Glasner has said, that's going to happen. But Gusto must not do the same thing. Must not. If Gusto, for me, I would like to see go past the halfway line, but not too far. Enough if we've got control of the ball. Enough if we've pressed Palace into their own half, into their own box specifically. Then Gusto has enough license to be able to get near to the edge of their box in order to maybe spam some crosses in order to pass inside. Not cut inside, pass inside. Gusto, I'm not going to say it. Gusto cannot invert. If you know what I'm going to say, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say make the same mistake like I did in the other preview. Was it the preview or was it the review? The preview it was. But Gusto, traditional fullback, and not even overlapping too much because I don't want him to get caught out and leave too much space in behind because our defense is in trouble as it is. He needs to be there. But Cucurella, having that license, no problem. That's the sort of balance I'm looking for in the defense. Caicedo, Enzo, and hopefully if Lavia's available, if any one of those guys are tired, second half we can actually take one off if we have to and we've got the result looking good. Palmer, for sure, no-brainer. I'll get to what can change in a bit. Neto on the right, hopefully he has a good game. I still feel like he's the best option on the right-hand side. Sancho on the left-hand side, he's still the best option on the left-hand side. Nico Jackson up top, we haven't got anyone else. It's as simple as that. But let me make things clear now. If Gusto's having a stinker, bring on Josh. The midfield's tough because, like I said, it depends if Lavia's available or not. If anyone needs to come off, hopefully Lavia can come on. If even Palmer needs to come off, you bring on Felix. Or you even bring on Nkunku in the 10, not as a striker. I want to make that clear. If Neto is having a quiet night, if he's having a quiet day, if he's having a stinker, it'll be night for me, it'll be evening for me. If he's having a stinker, there's options there. You can shift Palmer over to the right. You can bring Felix into the middle. You can get them to play together if they have to. Same goes for Sancho. If it means taking Sancho off and sticking Neto on the left perhaps, and then accommodating the right-hand side with a Palmer. Madueke for me has not been good enough, but he's an option off the bench for me to maybe add a little bit of directness. Cool, right? And like I said, between Palmer, Felix and Nkunku, we can do what we got to do there. But there are options in order to play 2 out of the 3 if we have to. And up front, if Jackson's having a stinker or he's not going to go the full distance, bring on Mark Gu. If it's going to be for 20 minutes, bring on Mark Gu. And just see what he can do. If it means we got to take one guy off and stick 2 strikers up top and bring Mark Gu in and alongside Jackson, that's another option. But there are things that we can do there. There are things that we can do. Mark Gu, for me, 20 minutes, I think is enough. These guys like Mark Gu, Josh, at Chiampong, for example, people are going to say, yeah, no, you know what? Shift Gusto, Jackson, take them off, no problem. Start them. We can't start them. They're not going to play for 90 minutes. They're not ready. They're not ready. Whether we like it or not, they're not ready. To go that distance in the Premier League game with pressure, they're not ready. You're asking too much of them. It's not fair on them. And we don't even know what they're going to do. In a moment where we need players to do, we're going to ask them, can you? Like, no. They need to maybe come on 20, 25 minutes tops to try and make a difference where there isn't too much pressure on them. It's a case of, listen, we need something. Can you just give us what you got? That, I think, is fair enough. And we can get a good little test for the player. And hopefully, if they can deliver, that's fantastic. And if they can't, well, we've brought options off the bench, and it's what we've got. So in this case, Maresca wouldn't be blamed. In this case, Maresca's done everything that he can possibly do. Nothing else he can do. But what I do want to say, tactically, Maresca needs to be more flexible now. In terms of how he was before, like recently, it seems like he's been a lot more rigid. I would like to see a little bit more flexibility. If a shape needs to be changed, change it. If things are not working, accommodate someone else. Change the formation. Do what you got to do. Try and create new spaces. Do what you have to do. If that's the case, then Maresca doesn't get any blame. He's only got what he's got at his disposal. It's as simple as that. But I would like to see an attempt. So I hope that makes sense. This is why I would start with this team, and then we see how the game goes, especially in the second half. If any big changes need to be made, do them quick. Do them quick. If we're winning, for example, you want to change the hour mark, cool. If we're losing and we get to half time and things need to be changed, change at half time. Go for it. Go for it. No hesitating. Don't leave it too late though. I don't want to see like no changes after 75 minutes and we're trying to get back into the game. No. Not having that. Not having that. Because we have to be proactive. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my starting 11. And as I tell you guys, hit the subscribe button, notification bell on, check out the socials, personal and football. Personal ones and this channel ones. Make sure you're following, all links in the description. Second channel as well, new content dropping there frequently. So make sure you guys are there and you're enjoying all of that. My prediction is I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 2. 2-1 win. Hopefully. Not even hopefully. We better. It's as simple as that. No other option. If not, difficult conversations are going to start being had. So, let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Let me know your predictions, your lineups in the comments. I'd love to see. And I'll see all of you tomorrow after it's all said and done for the post-match review. See you lot then. Have a good one, people. Take care. And peace.